8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Are who we thought they were.
Playoffs? We'll talk about playoffs.
We just talk about practice. We sitting here, I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice.
NFL Reactions with the Sports Memery. There were some wild-ass games from Week 4, but none wilder than this one.
Extra point is blocked. It's blocked by Dallas. And trying to pick it up here. It's still loose on the ground. And it's picked up by Cleveland. Waiting for a signal. They're discussing. Once Dallas touches it, it becomes it should be the 2-point conversion, no?
That's right. The shit show of the Cowboys season just continues to roll on. I think that, everyone thought it was a low point a few weeks ago. None lower than losing to the Browns for the 1-3 Cowboys. What were you guys' thoughts on that game?
Getting blown out by the Browns, blown out. And can we just retract really quick to that extra point play? Something that's always told to the defense is, if it's blocked, don't touch it. Only bad shit can happen.
Yep.
That is 101, and they still managed to screw it up. Talk about terrible coaching. Come on,
you can't even block a PAT without it adding to more points. That's unfortunate, Cowboys.
You guys are being ridiculous. Overreaction central here. We're really going to punish the Cowboys for losing to the Rams and the Seahawks. The Browns are a good team. The Browns are 3-1. The Browns can put up points. None of this is new. It was a shootout in Dallas, and they got outshot. There's
something definitely broken about this defense. I mean, a player that throws for over 500 yards. 500 yards, Dak Prescott passed for on Sunday. 500 yards in a loss. I mean, there's something really rotten with that defense, and something needs to be addressed. It's terrible.
Well, first we're going to punish the Cowboys for that play. That play specifically, come on, that is the absolute basics of defense. But 500 yards in a loss, as a Steelers fan, and Brandon, you know this, prevent defense prevents you from winning. So that is where the majority. I think it's actually roughly half of where Dak's passing yards were accumulated in the fourth quarter when they were being blown out. So those numbers add on. It's pure Matt Stafford just adding numbers at the end of the game, irrelevant numbers.
Cleveland's running on everyone. I mean, them and New England have the two best run offenses right now in the entire league. And, they ran for 307 yards, which is ridiculous. That's like a high school football game. But I'm not worried about the rest of the league running at the level that Cleveland did. So it was embarrassing. But I think they come out this next week and they just come out firing. I think they put a whooping on the Giants. I still think the Cowboys win the NFC East. Look over their schedule. They're the favorite in the 6 out of the next 7. They only play 3 teams with a winning record. This is going to be a blemish. This is going to sting for a while. But I think in the next 4 to 5 weeks, we're singing a different tune.
You only mentioned their losses when they did lose to 3 really good teams. Let's talk about their win. The one win where they had an unlikely comeback against the lowly Falcons. Falcons suck.
The winless Falcons.
How bad is the Cowboys defense to let that Falcons team go up that high on them? I mean, I know it was a historic comeback, but my God, there's something rotten in Dallas, and it starts with their defense. And speaking of the Falcons, let's just jump into that Packers game from last night. I mean, either the Packers are really good or the Falcons are just absolutely terrible. To me, the hallmark of that game was the fact that the Falcons actually had a 10-minute drive. It is really hard in the NFL these days to have a 10-minute drive. And, of course, gets to the red zone, terrible play calling. Matt Ryan is just a garbage time quarterback. He's He's never going to bring that team to the promised land. And Dan Quinn, how is Dan Quinn still employed in Atlanta? It is fucking insanity. It's insanity.
Well, Quinn's been terrible as a head coach. He's been he was dominant as a coordinator. Obviously, it trickles down. Dirk Cotter was terrible as a head coach, and he put up some good numbers. But what I will say was, going into that, obviously amazing drive. They did settle for a field goal, but come on, you're 0-3, you're struggling, you can't finish, and you're going up against an undefeated Packers team. Dude, make a statement, go for the damn touchdown. Like what? Go down 7-3. Come on, finish.
How hard did you hit happy hour before this cast?
It's a Tuesday. I don't drink on Tuesdays.
So everyone's saying let Russ cook as far as MVP. My MVP right now at the quarter poll is Aaron Rodgers. Number 1 in QBR, 13 touchdowns, no interceptions. And the reason I would give Aaron Rodgers the nod projecting forward as an MVP is their division isn't as good as we thought. And their schedule, frankly, they play a very advantageous schedule as opposed to Russ, who's maybe playing in the toughest division in football. So Aaron Rodgers,
without Devontae Adams, he still looks exceptional. I mean, He doesn't even have his second wide receiver, Lazard, and he still looks damn good. So,
and Aaron Jones doesn't seem to be falling off like almost all of us on this podcast had thought he would. They got a tight end in this Tanyan guy. And your defense looks good when your offense doesn't come off the field. I still don't believe in the Packers defense. They have a few good pieces, but as well as that offense is humming, that covers up a lot of warts.
Yeah, that Packers defense is hanging on about as well as my mustache is right now. Let's talk about another
fun thing about Green Bay, though. Like last year, 13-3, but like we've all doubted them the entire way. Like they don't have any superstars. They just piece it together. It's like it's insane.
They have an opportunistic bend but don't break defense. They got a good pass rush. Their build, they almost remind me of kind of the two giant Super Bowl teams. Really, good running backs. But yeah, they're an interesting team. Like you look at them and like you said, they have no superstars. They don't really jump out in any one way, but they seem to put it together and they have some ugly wins. And speaking of ugly wins, Tampa over the Chargers. Man, in the first half, it just looked like that was going to be an absolute rout. But fucking Tampa, you got to give it to them. Brady with these ugly wins, but they're fucking W's, man. And that's the difference between Brady and Jameis in Tampa is like Bruce Arians came out this week and he said, last year, we don't win that game. And it's fucking true. Say we want, I'm a big Jameis Winston fan, but he probably doesn't grind out that win and probably doesn't grind out that game. So, I mean, what were you guys' takes from the game?
I think it's like the ugliness. It comes from like not having to not feeling like you have to do the deep shots and the big plays, but like chunk it out, drive it down, and score some points and give your defense a rest, give them opportunity to regroup and make a play. It's what he's done for his entire career. Obviously, it's translating. The Tampa's 3-1. When was the last time we were 3-1?
Right. Yeah, I'm still putting TBD on Tampa Bay. Honestly, they have scratched and clawed to 3-1, but they beat the Panthers, the Broncos, and the Chargers.
Yep.
I got a TBD. The game I'm circling is October 18th against the Packers. I think that will tell us more. Brady will have 5 weeks under his belt. That's what I want to see. In this game, I wasn't focusing on Tampa Bay. Right. I'm focusing on Justin Herbert, who made throws that a seasoned veteran would make.
Yes. Speaking of throws, let's check this one out. This was the guy. I've compared him to Ben Roethlisberger a lot. This is a play where he just stood in the pocket and made the fucking throw.
Kelly remains in there. Fake it again. Herbert, deep drop, looking to uncork the deep ball. And he's got the separation. Touchdown, Tyron Johnson. I mean, I'm talking to two Steelers fans. Does that not remind you of Big Ben right there?
Standing in the pocket, two guys coming at him and putting it on a rope. Yeah, no, I mean I shit on the pick. I shit on the Chargers. And you know what? I'm eating a lot of crow, and I don't mind it because the Chargers are one of the more interesting and fun teams through the first 4 weeks.
Man, they are going to be so good next year and going forward.
Out of all the 1-3 teams, they're definitely the best. They could easily be 3-1. They've had a bunch of close games, but man, you know, I have to blame their coaching on some of these issues that they're having. They let the Bucs win that game at the end of the second quarter. That costly fumble that Brady immediately converted to a touchdown. It's just brutal, man. And you know, Anthony Lynn, he lost a lot of close games last year too. So I just wonder how much longer they keep him around.
Now I will say that late touchdown was not on Lynn. It was a simple handoff. Dude just missed the handoff. That just comes from Austin Eckler being hurt and lack of practice reps. But man, you got to overcome adversity. It's just that simple.
For sure. So Colts at Bears. Talk about ugly games. Did anyone actually watch this game?
I live in Indiana, so it was the only game that was on that afternoon slot because they black out all the other channels. So it was the only football I even had the chance to watch. So yeah, I watched the whole damn thing. And are we sure Nick Foles or Mitch Trubisky is the problem in Chicago? Like, was pulling him after winning, almost 3 games the right idea? Because he looked way worse than Mitch.
The problem in Chicago is they have no quarterback. So whether it's Foles or Trubisky, the quarterback is their problem. But yeah, like you said, you know, you take 2 mediocre quarterbacks and you put them on one team. Do you get a good quarterback out of that? No, you get 2 mediocre quarterbacks that you can start one or the other. They're still got a quarterback problem.
Comes down to coaching.
Gives them the better chance, I would say.
Simply coaching.
Yeah. I mean, eventually it's got to fall on Nagy. He's got a great defense. He's got some weapons on offense. I mean, this is supposed to be Andy Reid's, you know, a product of Andy Reid. Like, why aren't we doing this that we did a couple of years ago? What happened? They still have a really talented roster. I don't understand what's happening with them.
There's no reason that they should be so bad. They should actually be in contention, like with the best of the best field goal games. But when it comes to Week 17, like they should be wild card at worst. Like they're so talented.
The story for me in this game, you know, obviously you have the quarterback conversation, but for me is how real is this Colts D? I know Marcus and I believe the Steelers have the best defense in the league, and we're a little biased with that. But right now, the Colts lead in almost every statistical category. Look what they've done to again, not great quarterbacks, but they have obliterated Kirk Cousins, obliterated Sam Darnold, and obliterated Nick Foles. Like, damn near injured all 3 one of those Colts just by giving them a beating.
Sure.
The Colts D, if Phillip Rivers can continue average play, Marcus, your call with them winning 10 or 11 games is looking pretty good right now. I'm going to have to give you props on that one because I shit all over you giving them that much love. They definitely look like a 10 or 11 win team right now.
They're so talented in the trenches, like front seven, defensively. Yeah, they're a little weak, you know, in the secondary. But if you're getting enough pressure, but we'll see how the Darius Leonard injury pans out. But up front, offensive, like their offensive line is second to the Cowboys, in my opinion.
I can't buy Phillip Rivers. He looks so fucking bad. He's so immobile. He doesn't have the arm strength he used to. It's like all of his skills just fell off overnight. And they're making the best of it. But I've been saying for a while, how good would they look with Cam Newton? My God.
So Drew, you made a comparison earlier to a team that looks kind of like the championship winning Giants. I actually think the Colts are who look like the New York Giants winning their 2nd Super Bowl with average to below average quarterback play, but the best defensive line in the league and the best offensive line in the league. And I think there's an argument that the Colts have that right now.
Sure. Well, Marcus, Carolina drops their 2nd game in a row. Marcus is a huge Arizona fan for some reason and a big Cliff Kingsbury fan. But Carolina, 2 wins in a row against 2 really good teams. So which is it? is Arizona just falling off, or is Carolina just coming alive?
Honestly, a little bit of both. Arizona is all about the offense. We know that. And this weekend is so surprising because Carolina's defense has been terrible, right? But Teddy B, maybe he's not like super flashy, but he's consistent and he makes the like simple plays that he needs to. He's never been one to like force it downfield. Minnesota's probably missing him a little bit, but man, it was painful to watch. It was great play calling. It was great coaching. Like full circle, Carolina definitely outcoached Arizona. Arizona
and
has
doing all this without Christian McCaffrey, which is absolutely fucking insane. Won both their games without Christian McCaffrey. That's nobody expected that shit.
No, not even close. Not even close.
I hate to make an apples and oranges comparison here, but what I've seen out of Carolina the past 2 weeks is similar to what you do with a basketball team when you have a superstar. Remember when Russ was in Oklahoma City and they only gave him the ball and it was pretty easy to defend and game plan around? Now, Russ still averaged a triple-double that year, and McCaffrey's still going to put up numbers, but I think their offense is becoming more balanced, and it's helping them become a better team. I think McCaffrey maybe missing a few weeks could be the best thing for Carolina.
There's no argument there, but I also think it comes down to when you miss like your ace, like your superstar, everyone feels like they have to pick up the slack, and when everyone is cohesive and they do it right, that's how you win games. And then when you add that superstar back in, it's a scary thing.
Yeah, who would have thought that Carolina would have the same record as the Saints through 4 weeks? Incredible. But did you guys catch the Buffalo Vegas game?
That was one of the 4 o'clocks I was glued to.
Yeah, I fucking Buffalo again. Josh Diggs and Josh Allen, or Josh Diggs, Diggs and Allen, just a match made in heaven. Diggs just looks like an absolute stud. And he fits in that offense like a glove. But, you know, at the same time, they really only won that game by 7 points. Josh Allen made some mistakes. Brandon, I know you're huge on Josh Allen, but he's got to stop taking these big sacks that he does in games. He just needs to stop trying to make every play. Would you agree with that? Or
Yeah, I think. I mean, that was a little bit of his knock, right? His decision making and his accuracy. I don't think he's really improved much in either one of those, but they're winning, and when you're winning and putting up the numbers he's putting, you're in the discussion. I think that's where I want to put him. He's not on a Russ, a Mahomes, a Rodgers level, but he's in the discussion of the top 5. And they just keep winning. The key takeaway I have from this game is a 2-game lead on New England. That is huge after 4 weeks.
Right.
See, when it comes to Josh Allen, obviously Steelers, Big Ben, you're expecting bad shit to happen, but like when they avoid those sacks and they go to make those plays, incredible things happen. Like you have to take the good with the bad. He made some bad plays, is what it is, but he's made some incredible plays all year, and it will continue.
He's a super freak athlete. If he can ever just improve his decision making, that guy's going to be truly special. One of the biggest favorites of the week from a fantasy or from a Vegas perspective was the Giants at Rams game. Rams only ended up winning by 8 points. They were 13.5 favorites, and man, did they look bad. But the biggest thing that jumped out to me from a fantasy perspective is Malcolm Brown back as the running back 1 there. Like, what is going on there? They're one of these teams that I think after 4 weeks, you just got to say that you can't trust any of these guys and just to bail on this running back carousel, because this is without Cam Akers. Once Cam Akers comes back, it's going to complicate things even more.
Yeah. For the Rams, for me, it honestly, I said last week, if the Rams can maintain above average play from Jared Goff, they'll win. If they play anyone but the New York Giants, Jets, or some of the very lowly teams, the Rams get beat on Sunday, and it's because of the play of Jared Goff. Everything hinges around that, and that's pretty much what I've seen out of the Rams through 4 weeks.
Does anyone think that like McVay and just like coordinating the offense, they get too cute? Like because
for sure
they have the talent, and it comes down to like, hey, you overthink it, right? And so you try to get too cute, too drastic, explosive, and it just screws you.
I think he has to get cute. He has a bad offensive line. His number one receiver is it Kupp? Is it Woods? You really don't know. Like Kupp's really talented, but I would argue he's not a bona fide wide receiver one. Their running back core is kind of a hodgepodge of mediocre talents until Cam Akers comes back. I mean, Darrell Henderson, like he was great in college, but his first year, his vision didn't stack up. Some people were questioning his speed. I just don't know if they have any spectacular talents. And then on defense, did you guys see that hit by Jalen Ramsey? I didn't know this, but I read this afterwards, and I haven't confirmed this, but he impregnated Golden Tate's sister.
I believe he has 2 kids with Golden Tate's sister, and left her for a dancer, right? Like a Vegas dancer.
Man.
So they have bad blood. Boy, was he fired up! I'm not sure what his hardest hit on Tate was either on that spear or after the game. Which I think the Giants said he threw the first punch, which clearly they have to say that. But there's been bad blood. It's been there. It's been lingering. But man, it was that hit past anything. That play, just dodging a tackle, fighting through a blocker, and just fucking manhandling.
It was an unbelievable play.
Yeah, Ramsey was outside of the Lions, outside of the locker room after that game, screaming. Like outside of the Giants locker room, wanting to just continue it. I'd pay to watch that.
Hey, Robert Michael asks, do you guys think Damian Harris is the guy in New England? No. The answer to that is no. You can't trust anybody in New England.
It's similar to what we were just talking about with the Rams.
Yep.
You can't trust anyone in the Rams. You can't trust anyone in New England.
Remember when what's his tits put up 31 fantasy points last week and then just dropped off again this week? Yeah.
Speaking of which, Robert Michael, 2 words, Rex Burkhead, pal.
Yeah, Rex fucking Burkhead. Finally coming through and then dropping a deuce the second everyone trusts him again.
Sounds like a New England running back.
And speaking of New England, let's talk about that game because New England could have won this game. Talk about mistakes being made. How bad is Brian Hoyer? Holy shit. First of all, as smart as Bill Belichick is, I think he sometimes tries to head fuck the league. And I think him trying to bring back Brian Hoyer, starting him for that game over Stidham, it feels like he was trying to get too cute with it. Stidham did look bad too, but he looked better. Like, how bad is Brian Hoyer? What was Bill Belichick thinking starting him?
It was a safe move, but what I will ask you and anyone else, has anyone ever seen, like in the last 20 years, Bill Belichick make like a coaching mistake? Because he was pissed like on that play, and he couldn't even throw a challenge out.
Yeah.
And
Are you talking about the Mahomes fumble? Yeah.
The Mahomes fumble interception.
Yep. That was a terrible call.
Yeah. It was a terrible call, but I've never seen him miss the opportunity ever.
And my take from that game is, after years of TB12, Bill Belichick deserves to find a way to win a game without a quarterback.
Yeah.
It's really going to test the brilliancy of Bill Belichick, what he can do with, if Cam is out any other significant time, and Cam is, I hate to say it, he is injury prone. So, this season may be Bill Belichick's greatest challenge, and I think we're going to learn a lot over the next 13 weeks.
Yeah. Brian Hoyer, what the fuck was Brian Hoyer thinking at the end of the first half when they had
he thought he had a timeout.
Not only did he hike the ball too late, but then at that point, you're getting tackled, just throw it away. Even if it's intentional grounding, do anything you can to get the fucking ball out of your hands. He tries to run around. Even if he's able to get the ball off, they're still going to
There's
run
no
out of
time
time.
to do anything.
It's such a fucking dumb play and just so unpolished and so unexpected of a Bill Belichick team.
See a lot of that, like a lot of the blame is going to go on Hoyer, which it should, because it was terrible. But it comes down to McDaniels and Belichick, man. So it almost seemed like they were like trying to think so far ahead on what to do going forward that they like forgot what was going on in the present. I've never seen that from like that combination, and they've been there for so long.
See, but they lost by 16 points. They were in the red zone twice. One, they fucked up and missed and didn't miss a chance to get a field goal. The other time, the defender came around. Brian Hoyer easily could have thrown it away. He had like 5 chances to throw it away and fumbled it. So they fumbled away 2 red zone chances there. Yeah. So I don't know if I would put this on McDaniels as much. I would just put it on, they didn't have their fucking starting quarterback.
See, I'm just gonna say they were outcoached. They were definitely outcoached.
They were playing Patrick Mahomes, that's for sure.
Yeah, they were outcoached. Thinking about first half.
So let's talk about Patrick Mahomes a little bit, because that was maybe my takeaway is through half the games this year, it looked like you could get to Patrick Mahomes. In the Chargers game, it looked like you could get to Mahomes in this game. Now, both of those are good defenses. I don't want to say anything negative there, but it shows me that Mahomes is beatable. If you can put pressure on him, you can frustrate him. So in 50% of the games, I've seen Mahomes frustrated.
See, but I don't agree that he's beatable, because he can always do what he did in the fourth quarter, which is just flip on a switch. That's Mahomes. That's the guy he is. He no matter what, when the chips are down, that guy's going to play at his best. So, did Mahomes look bad in the first half? Yes, he did. But the Patriots defense is really good. And that's just what Mahomes does, man. When the chips are down, he fucking flips on a switch and rises to the occasion.
As a Steelers fan, I have to believe that he's beatable, so let me fucking take it here, okay?
I don't know, man. I don't think he is beatable.
We'll prove that he is.
No, I don't think he will. All right, guys. Well, we're going to wind it down. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a good night.